A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Let me attempt a quick rundown of what to expect on the show as Austin joins in. Of course, tonight we'll be talking about the biggest piece of news today in the world of sports. Tottenham has appointed Antonio Conte as their manager. He replaces Nuno Espirito Santo at the helm. That's the biggest piece of news, and it's going to we're going to be talking about it, deliberate on it extensively on the show tonight. And of course, we'll touch up on some other things happening on the domestic scene. All right, so Austin is with me now. Austin, greetings to you. Thanks for being out here as usual tonight.
Further greetings to you, Yemi, and of course to our viewers wherever they are in the world watching us. It's a loaded show, and I'm super excited to be on the program tonight as we take a look at what's going on in our world of sports. You mentioned Tottenham, and there are many problems. Now it's on the shoulders of Antonio Conte. Let's see what he can do, because sports, they need to start winning as quick as possible. But see, this is the funniest part of football, Yemi. While someone is trying to understand what's going on with the leadership at Tottenham, one man is out, another man is in. So the show must go on.
Definitely. And it's not going to be easy. He has a loaded November. But of course, people at Tottenham, very merciless. Things about the third manager in less than 2 years. Ruthless Daniel Levy. But we'll talk about all of that on the show as we move on. There's going to be a slice of table tennis on the show. I'm going to talk about football on the domestic scene, the recently released squad list of Coach Genethro, getting a lot of people talking as well. So we'll look at all of that. And from your hand, there's going to be some interesting discussions on the newly appointed Tottenham manager. Of course, you're going to lead us into that conversation as well. But also, let me quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio. Kehinde Idris joins us tonight on the show. Greetings to you, Kehinde. Thanks for finding out time to be on the show with us tonight.
Good to be here also. Good to join up. And you just hit it right. You know, when you hit Daniel properly, he drives in very well. Tottenham, I think that's the biggest piece of news. How will they cope? And there was also stories about Antonio Conte would have been courted to be Tottenham coach before they appointed Nuno. But there was
actually first choice.
You know, so let's see how this time, because knowing Antonio Conte for who he is, knowing Daniel Levy for who he is, how will they come to a common ground?
We'll see. Antonio Conte, a very interesting manager, of course, has a lot of Premier League experience. And while we're talking about all of that, let's not forget that is UEFA Champions League night. So trust us, at any point there's something to report, we will revert to the UEFA Champions League, whatever it is we're talking about at that time. If there's a situation that compels us to give you an information, we will do that immediately. So that's what we're going to be doing on the show tonight. All right, Austin, where do we start from tonight? Let me allow you to set the ball rolling.
I think we should begin from home before we get into the Antonio Conte talk. Let's talk about what's going on with table tennis in Nigeria. Yeah, I mean, I think in the last 5, 6, 7 years, table tennis, you know, has given us some level of consistency, and we love it. We begin to see superstars emerge, you know, from various competitions. And Lagos, once again, is hosting the second Western regional competition. And I'm sure, Kehinde, this is one competition that you've also been following. Definitely, we can discover and nurture table tennis stars from this competition.
Of course, of course. This is, I looked forward to this. November 1st was keenly waited for, not because it's a new month and we're all happy to just say another month, but because of, you know, the table tennis involved in this. And like you said, table tennis for some years now has been hitting the mark when it comes to being top, you know, one of those sports we should anticipate seeing a lot of activities from when it comes to every cadre, you know, right there in the year for Nigeria. And this is, you know, winding down towards the end of the year, and we're having this. And the beauty of this is the discovery of new names and also those young and coming who are now registering their name or making their name proper in the world of sports in Nigeria, where you want to, look at next year, look at the calendar for the seniors, for the middle, and think of all of these names, being part of it. A lot of dignitaries who had to be here talked about how excited, and I think the excitement is shared by all. You see top class table tennis, and if you're having West African players coming in, and you are able to hold your own, then it is better good days, ahead for our table tennis. The likes of Toriola, the likes of Aaron Okodri, yes, they are always, evergreen, doing so well, but it is time to start talking about names that will shock Africa and also hold the world to ransom in no time.
Love it. We just talked about Aaron Okodri and what he's doing with table tennis for the young lads and how he's even setting up an academy. And now we'll have the Western region competition, Lagos again hosting. That's a very good one. Kende will get you talking again. Let's listen to some of the talking points coming out of that competition right there in Lagos, and then we'll get a conversation going again.
The whole idea started long ago, months ago. And you can't get to this kind of point at this time of the year without proper planning. And we put the plans in place many months ago before we had the first tournament we held. I think it was in August or end of July. So here we are today. The whole idea is to let people know and continue to prove that Lagos is open for business and for the business of sports. And we are ready to be a platform where people can express themselves, athletes can perform, improve, and also know that they can get remuneration for the displays that they put on. But more importantly, because we have somebody who has a vision in place, who's leading us and supporting us, we can keep on doing these kind of things.
I think it's the development of the sport across the region. The western region of Africa, I think we're the largest region, 15 countries, and the standard is very different across the whole continent. Nigeria very high up there with Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin. So we're trying to carry the other countries, make sure, we can work together and get the standard up. But also, this is the starting point. From next year, ITTF have changed the qualification for the World Championships. And the world would be like similar to football. You start from the regions now. So from next year, this tournament itself will be the first round of the World Championships, the first qualifying round. So I think it's for us to get used to it, the players, the umpires, coaches. So we're getting ready for that. And it's considering the COVID, 7 countries, we're very pleased.
We have more than Samuel Pogoye. We have Matthew John. We have Isaac. We have, a lot of young, talented players. But we need to provide the platform, provide the facilities for them to always train and express themselves. There's no doubt Nigeria is blessed with table tennis players. So we will just have to nurture them and give them the opportunity to come up.
We're going to have 7 medals. The first one is the team event, which will be each country representing is our own country. So we have the team event, male and female. We have the singles, male and female. We have the doubles, male and female, and then we have the mixed doubles. So 7 medals are being contested for.
So that's it. Loads of table tennis talk coming right there from Lagos. And Yemi, I love the fact that it goes beyond Nigeria. It's a Western region, competition. You listen to Eniton Waido show, he's saying, look, this is very important because for the World Championships, you pass through the regions before you get into the main competition.
Yeah, it's good, and it's also heartwarming that Nigeria is leading the lights. That it's good to know, honestly. And table tennis has got us talking in the past few years. A lot of good things, like Kende Idris rightly pointed out. The city of Lagos, there's excitement in the air. This is the second edition of this. It's getting bigger by the day, and like we all hope that we'll discover new talents, we'll discover guys that will dominate Africa in the years to come.
Well, it is, so we're super excited with that one. Lagos is excited. Also, we'll continue to monitor it because That one right there is what we can monitor to, take a look at the future of table tennis in Nigeria. Let's get into the conversation now. It's no more news that Nuno Espirito Santo has been sacked as the boss of Tottenham Football Club. That's it. Coaches are hired to be fired. That's a new man right there now. Antonio Conte. He's not new to the English Premier League, but I love what Kende said about Antonio Conte and Daniel Levy, that are they going to work together? Is that the right partnership? We want to break it down tonight on the program with Conte being appointed Tottenham head coach. Let's come to London, where a Tottenham Football Club fan, Martin Aquavita, is standing by to speak to us. Martin, it's good to have you on Sports Tonight. Awesome. You need to unmute so we can hear you. And then we will go to Anderlecht in Belgium. Football scout is a friend of the house. We always run to him whenever we have issues to talk about in the English Premier League. Alexander Kuye is joining us live on the program from Belgium. Good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Akuye is also a football coach for Tottenham. So we have a fan, a football scout for Tottenham. So we have a fan and a scout. But let me begin with the fan before I come to the football scout. Martin, Nuno Espirito Santo, I'm being sincere here. I admire him a lot. I met him at White Hart Lane, and we had a brief discussion when Arsenal played Tottenham at the Mind Series, and I liked him. And I thought he was going to do well with Spurs. Was this sack too soon?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Was it too soon? Yeah, I'll say probably it was for any manager. It's unfair when the manager is given like 10 games and he loses his job. But the proof was in the pudding, right? 10 games, 5 losses, 5 victories, minus 7 goal difference. That wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. Performance was bad. On the pitch, off the pitch. And you could tell against Man United on Saturday, it was the fans, it was just a toxic environment, toxic atmosphere. So there was no way he could stay beyond that. There was no way.
I know it's tough. I saw fans of Tottenham after that Man United game. You don't want to go close to them. They weren't happy. But let me get Kuye talking. Kuye, you are a scout. So let's look at it from the angle of, replacement. Conte is in. Is that the right choice?
I think in terms of the players that Tottenham have, I think it's the right choice. However, I would say Tottenham probably will need about 2 transfer windows to actually get the players that will suit Conte. Conte tends to play a 3 at the back. We're thinking that he probably is going to go with a 3-4-2-1 formation, which will suit him. The problem we have, and I think as for Tottenham fans back home as well, is that there are some historic issues within Tottenham Hotspur, which basically means is that you've got players there that are unhappy. You have players there that some people don't want to be there anymore. You have players there that couldn't play this style. And also one of the biggest things for me with this appointment of Conte is the idea that he will have to get along with Daniel Levy, which is not, I don't think is going to happen, because Conte, for someone who I know quite well, Conte is the type of person that wants to take overall control. And if you don't give him overall control, he will just leave there and then and will walk away. And that is what Conte is about. And I think the issue with Nuno, and I think we need to discuss Nuno, because it's very, very important, is that Daniel Levy has a history and track record of getting things wrong. When he introduced Nuno Espirito as the manager for Tottenham, he said fast, attacking football, dynamic football. Well, even a primary 4 child in London will know that Nuno was not that person that can do what he said in the press conference. And I think a lot of the issues around Tottenham goes down to recruitment. And then in Nuno's stewardship, they lacked creativity. Let's be fair, Nuno wasn't the first choice for Tottenham. When we even look at the Harry Kane situation, there are players that don't want to be there. And last but not least, even in the training ground, there was rumours that he didn't get along with a lot of players and ostracised a lot of players. And for a club like Tottenham, you can't be playing like a League One, League Two team, trying to scrape a point it's attacking football 24/7, 90 minutes on the pitch. You're giving it your best shot. But under, unfortunately, Nuno, that wasn't the case. And hopefully, we think that with Conte coming in, it will bring that attacking prowess that Tottenham obviously ever needs.
Lagos, let's just jump in as well. I want to go back to Martin, and I know you're still with us. Let me just quickly ask Martin this. We all know that Conte is experienced, he's won the Premier League, but how soon do you think he will get Tottenham running? Of course, Kui just quite rightly pointed out, Spurs might need 2 or 3 transfer windows to get the kind of players that Conte needs. So what will be the realistic expectation for this season? And how soon do you think Conte might be able to give the fans what they want from their team?
I think first things first, like with Conte, what Spurs needs now is stability. Because like with Nuno, you could tell that things were not just going right. So we need stability. We need the fans back. And once that's in place, then with the transfer windows coming in, because one key thing I need to say is like the most important thing now is our director of football, right? Paratici, because he's worked with Conte in the past. Conte knows him, so there's that trust relationship. And I think the key thing as well is like Daniel Levy decided to step aside. So with that in place, with that relationship with Conte and Paratici, what you start finding out like as the transfer windows goes, like first of all, in January, right? We're gonna get players there. We're gonna get players in. Because you don't get a manager, an elite manager like Conte, and don't do anything, you know. So that's going to be the key thing. So stability, you get the transfer windows, you have a look at players, and let's be fair, right? People actually presume that Conte has to have money to spend, right? Look at Man United, right? He took players from Man United, as your Ashley Young, Sanchez, to Inter Milan. Those were average players when you think about it. And they went to Inter Milan within a year. What did they do? They won the title. So we can't just expect that like he's just going to go in the market and buy players, right? He's going to buy players. Don't get me wrong, but he still has players to work with. And when you have a manager like Conte step into that door, what then happens is like everyone is uplifted. Harry Kane is uplifted. You know, Son is uplifted. The players are uplifted. You know, and what can we do? Who knows? You know, so I'm very hopeful that, you know, but to put a mark that say like we're going to finish this position, we're going to finish that position, it's slightly difficult now. But I know one key thing that's going to happen is like stability is going to be difficult. Once there's stability, then, you know, we'll move from there.
Okay, that's good to hear. Let me just go to Kui quickly. We're about to go on a break. Do you agree with people who feel that Spurs has suffered a reputational damage in the last 1-2 years? A lot of people are seeing them as a top 4 or a team gradually knocking on the top 4. So in the last 2 seasons, do you think their reputation has kind of suffered or their status has kind of gone down, so to say?
I think for me, I'll be honest with you, I think the loss of the former manager, not Mourinho, Pochettino, for me was, in my opinion, a big thing. He was the perfect manager for the job. He was a perfect manager. Yes, it didn't go well for him during the end, but he was a perfect manager. He understood the system. He understood the club. He understood the enormity of the job. I'm not being funny, he got them to the final of the Champions League. Now, what we are looking at now is that we're expecting Conte within 18 months, because he's been given an 18-month contract. So we're asking him for the next 18 months to be able to make things happen. And for me, that is a very, very tough task to do. And for any club to ask and say, oh, you are going to have to get us into top 4. You have to get us into the Champions League. That's a difficult task. But the director of football, I'll be honest with you, when the director of football came into Tottenham, people that were in the scouting world, we said, okay, you know, he's done really well in Italy. Could he do the same thing in the UK? That job is a very important role because you're the bridge between Daniel Levy and your coaching staff. And for me, Fabio Patricio has got it wrong. because he appointed Nuno and got it wrong. The players that he brought in during the transfer window, in my opinion, were not right. And then you're going to give Conte 18 months contract for you to let him go after he doesn't go well. I think you have to look at Tottenham as in a whole.
All right.
To say Tottenham are not serious or Tottenham are not ready to be a Premier League champion.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Let's just go on a break. We're so eager to just get on with it. Let's quickly go on a break, and when we return from that break, we'll continue with this discussion on what has transpired today. Antonio Conte taking the place of Nuno Espirito Santo as the new Tottenham manager. Let's go on that break and come back for more. All right, welcome back. And so we're still on the matter, talking about the recent development at Tottenham. Well, let me just bring Austin back into it before we get into the conversation. Austin, you know, we've had brief discussions about this before. I've asked the guys, and I want to ask you, you know, how long do you think it will take Conte to stabilize the shape? How long do you think it will get him to get Tottenham to where some of the fans want it to be?
I think he has a lot of work to do. But the good thing is that he's got the champion mentality. You know, he's a winner in Italy, and of course, he knows the English Premier League. So if he just applies the rules of success, you know, it might just work for him. You know, football can be funny. But Tottenham is in a dark place now, and it goes beyond football. So he needs to do a lot of management, particularly man management. I remember we spoke to Alex before the season started, and I was asking him if they keep Harry Kane, is it going to backfire? And he was saying at that time that, it depends on where the club wants it to go. I think they should have let Kane to leave in the summer, and this won't happen. So let me bring Martin into it, because I like hearing from fans, you know. Kuye has blamed Nuno to some point. He has also given some blames to the football director at Tottenham. So Martin, the players, Cristiano Ronaldo says that players must take responsibility for bad results. Do you in any way blame Tottenham players for the situation they are in now?
Oh yes, I do. I blame them. I blame them. They can't shy away from this responsibility. These are professional players. That with any professional person in your workplace, you need to give 100%. You know, and you could tell from the Manchester United game that the players they let the fans down. You know, and I would say Harry Kane has actually let the fans down as well. You know, but I think with things like with football is just a result down the road to turn everything around. And when you think about it, that's why it's like the excitement I have today of Conte coming in, you know, with the manager of that experience, that elite manager, what he's going to do now is like, he's going to get the players working hard, right? So these same players that have let the fans down would have to work hard. They're going to have to be drilled to ensure that they do the right thing. And that's the way I look at it.
Alex, you seem to have a problem with the sort of contracts that Conte has going already. I was just trying to put Conte and Jose Mourinho side by side, and I said if Daniel Levy had a problem with Jose, then there might just be some problem with Conte.
Yes, totally, 100%. And I like that Marvin said, you know, he's very excited as a fan. And of course you would be excited to have someone like Conte at your club. But let's be fair, we had Mourinho at Tottenham, and the exact same thing happened. There are a lot of players in that club that are dead weight, that should have left a long time ago and are still there. Now, you're expecting Conte to come in on an 18-month contract and basically sort everything out. Right now, the realistic task for him is to get top 4 if he can. And if he doesn't get top 4, and they potentially qualify for the Europa League, what players are they bringing in? Because at the end of the day, already the excuses already start to come out. We can't spend money. We built a new stadium, the pandemic. They're putting all these excuses out. But the fact is that if Tottenham wants to be treated as a big club, they have to act like a big club. They have to make player acquisitions like a big club. The director of football has come into Tottenham and has literally sacked most of the scouts that are there and brought in his scouts from Italy. The great thing about it is it's great if they're just scouting in Italy and getting the best players in Italy. But the fact is, as a big club, you have to have a worldwide reach. And if you want to get the best players, you need to be able to have a worldwide reach. And that's the problem with Tottenham, is that they're too ambitious, but they're not willing to put their money where their mouth is. And that's the problem. So if they are going to give 18 months to Conte, well, good luck to him. But at the end of the day, the reality is Conte is no pushover. You do not give him what he wants, he will walk.
No. Martin, before we wrap this up, as a fan, be realistic. What are your expectations? Because you fans, you dream a lot. That's the problem. What are your expectations with this new coming of Conte?
My expectations, I think you have to have some honesty here, right? Because the last 2 seasons we finished from 6th and 7th, right? So I think my expectation with any fan would be to challenge for something, for there to be a challenge, to challenge for trophies. Premier League is out of the way, but there are trophies there to be won, right? So that's my expectation. First things first, 18 months contract. It might seem short, but Thomas Tuchel had 18 months. Pochettino had 18 months contract, but what happened? They delivered, it got extended. So for me, 18 months contract is neither here nor there. So for the expectation for Spurs, first of all, is that stability, winning games. Then with winning games, what then happens? They're trophies, right? And I'm not saying the Premier League trophy, but you have the Carabao Cup, you have the FA Cup, and we also have the Conference League. Why can't we be the first English team or the first team to win the European Conference League? So that itself is an expectation. And Conte didn't come here to come and start eating beans or whatever. He came here to win something. He came here to win. He came here to challenge, and that's what makes me excited. Is he's going to challenge Levy. He's going to challenge him, and Levy knows he has to do that. You don't become an elite club without delivering, without buying the players. We've got an astonishing training ground, astonishing stadium. And what's next? We got the component with the manager, top-class manager, Hollywood manager, to deliver for us.
Wow.
I know. Let's leave it at that. Thank you so much, Martin, for your time. Thank you so much, Alex, for your time. Always a delight to have you on the show. Get back to London. Let's sit down and talk about this. Thank you. All right, so that's it. Martin Apovita is a fan of Tottenham, while Alex Kuye is a football scout and majorly does business with Tottenham. Let's go back to Lagos. Kehinde Idris, I'm sure he's itching to talk about this one. Kehinde, Tottenham, after 10 games, they are 9th on the log with just 15 points. With the arrival of Conte, are they trying to fetch water with a basket?
Maybe not so. But one of the simple questions I tend to ask Tottenham, and their dream is the kind of players that you have in your team. That is always underlined. Juxtapose the kind of players they've got there with the likes of Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool. You always dream of achieving or getting what these teams get. But I'm looking at personnel for personnel. You cannot stand any day, any time. Now, we go to the coaches. We're excited about Conte coming and all of that. And I'm looking at Conte, how hungry he is, comparing that to Jose Mourinho. We knew when Mourinho was coming, he's a fighter, whether with the management that is not doing right, whether with rival clubs, or even the players that he's got under his fold. You must just step up. And we can remember that famous conversation with Dele Alli, which got everybody talking, this is Mourinho in town. And we thought it was supposed to be better days ahead when it comes to trophies, not just winning games here and there. We're talking trophies, medals. As worse as Arsenal looks, just the neighboring club, we've seen trophies in recent time. Now, the question keeps going back to what kind of players does Daniel Levy and his management get to sign up for Tottenham? It always looks like they are scratching for what is left in the transfer market. And when you continue to do that, you are not standing out. I think it was Kuye who said, when you go to sign, are you signing deliberately to win the trophies like the league, like the Champions League, or you're just trying to hang in there? when you sign players to just hang in there, you would always get that result. So whether it's Conte, whether it is Thomas Tuchel, it is Jose Mourinho, Tottenham always look like a suspect when it comes to your dream. How well is that team dreaming? Daniel Levy, no disrespect, but has never cut it for me as, you know, a chairman who wants to really muscle with the top clubs. Getting to the Champions League final for me was like a dream that just happened, and it looks like it will never happen. It was like a mistake. So are you deliberate about wanting to be there, or you're just wishing you wake up one day and everything is working right for you to be there with other clubs not performing? It's a whole lot of questions, and it starts with the kind of recruitment that you do with the players. Big coaches will not do anything with less, you know, talented players in that squad.
So I said he's got a lot of work to do, but the winning mentality can help Antonio Conte with his new job at Tottenham. Conte has won titles in the Serie A, including a hat-trick of Scudettos with Juve, the Premier League, and he has also managed Italy, leading the Azzurri to the quarterfinals of Euro 2026. So there you go. They have for themselves a manager who's been there, done that. Look at his Premier League record, won the league title with Chelsea in the 2016-2017 season, won the FA Cup with same Chelsea in 2017 and 2018. But look at what he has done with Juve and Inter Milan in the Serie A, and then you want to give this man the respect that it deserves. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy for him. If you take a look at the fixtures for November, Antonio Conte is just coming in. Let's see. First, he needs to, you know, avenge that loss in the Europa League conference, you know, because it was a surprising defeat for Tottenham. November the 4th is busy with that one. And then they've got Everton. Everton is struggling, and they will be going to Goodison Park. So that will be a big test of character for Antonio Conte and his team, because if he doesn't win that game, I'm in England, and I know the press, they are waiting for that one. November the 20th, they're going to take on Leeds, and then they have NS Mura in the Conference League, and then take on Burnley November the 20th. But yeah, I mean, this sort of fixture shouldn't bother Conte, should it?
Shouldn't really, but morale is low. That must be said. You know, sometimes when a woman goes to the market and she's got a bargain, she comes home to show you, see what I've got. So you look at Conte's pedigree, it's a bargain. Forget about the situation Tottenham are in. If there's a signing that should lift a club that is down, bringing in Conte should do that for any team. Those fixtures shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem on the line, but the morale is so low at this point that it might take a few games for you know, before we start seeing. And will Conte be ruthless? Because this team needs a ruthless manager. And like one of the guys
said, to push them, someone to, you know, get them back into reality.
I don't know if it was Martin or Kuye that said a lot of dead wood in that. I mean, you need a clear out. He may not be able to do that in November, but look, for those who want to go, you need to sit up. That's just what he needs to do. And if there's any manager that can do that, of course, it's Conte. And Conte has quite rightly questioned Daniel Levy's ambitions. I feel his hands are tied rather because of the funds available. We have to factor that in. There's nobody that is not ambitious. Look, titles, everybody wants titles. Victories are good. But I think Daniel Levy is somebody who is very realistic. He's shrewd and realistic. He knows he's not in the class of the big boys in terms of the resources at his disposal. So what he tries to do is to once in a while jump up. Signing Jose with that Tottenham team is jumping up. Getting Antonio Conte with those kind of players is still jumping up. And the thing about jumping up is when you jump up, you don't stay up, you come down. And that's the story of Tottenham, really.
I spoke to another Tottenham fan, and he says Daniel Levy has the solution, but is also more of the problem. So he needs to find a way to come to the middle, create a balance, and bring a solution to all of this. But they must not lose that game against Everton, because if they do, That would be a very bad start for them. Everton at the moment, they need all the points. And Leeds United, they're a tricky side in the English Premier League, same as Burnley. So we'll get to see, how this will go.
Yeah, we'll get to see how it goes. I guess we'll leave it at that. We can continue all day, all night, talking about what Tottenham should do, what they should not be doing, but we have to leave it at that. All right, let's move on the show tonight. It's time to talk about Nigeria amputee Eagles. Of course, well celebrated in recent times, grabbed the headlines for one or two reasons. So ahead of the African Nations Cup for amputees, Nigerian team started preparations for the 15-team tournament. The players who are currently training at an open field within a national stadium premises are seeking for support. That's why we're bringing this out. They're seeking for support so that they can excel at the competition. They need the support of well-meaning Nigerians, to support everybody, basically. The amputee Eagles have been drawn in Group D with Ghana and Egypt. All other groups have 4 teams, but Group D that has Nigeria, Ghana, and Egypt, just 3 teams. The Nations Cup will hold from November the 26th to December the 5th in Dar es Salaam, Tunisia. That's Nigeria's group. Like I said, is a 15-team tournament. Let's just quickly listen to the appeal of the amputee Eagles, then we'll come back to, of course, talk about all of this and more.
It has been a hectic one in the sense that we are faced with a lot of challenges. Challenges in the sense that we don't have a proper training ground. We are yet to be in camp, a competition that will take place next month. The arrival date is 26th of November, and we are yet to be in camp. It's a game that is, is out of passion. Most of the handicapped players will prefer going to the streets, while the one that has the passion to play will come. So what we'll do is we will try as much as possible to make them, to spread the awareness of the game. So those that are interested will come. Then we'll start working on them.
We've been trying our possible best to see how we can reach out to all meaningful Nigerians, parastatals, non-governmental organizations, philanthropists, even the media, just like the way we have China's yesterday, assisting us to create awareness for people to know about amputee football. So the awareness has been coming, but we're still soliciting for more contributions from every angle, just to see how we can get the team to Tanzania coming 26th of this month.
All right, so we're lending our voice to that appeal from the guys. And, like one of the players rightly said, the awareness, yeah, we're beginning to hear about them, but they need our support. They're thinking of how to get to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. I think we should do all we can to support them. Kennedy, before we go back to Austin quickly, I'm very sure you're going to lend your voice to the call.
Yes.
Let's support these guys. And one of their handlers highlighted the problem. Yeah. And I don't want it to seem as if we're always, but these issues are not even things we should be talking about.
It is practical. We're just saying what it is. Look at where they are training. Obviously, that shouldn't be. I've spent time with the amputee Eagles and also the blind football team. National team. It is so sad that these guys coming from a tough place, you can understand what it is for them to be where they are, and they don't get the required support. It makes me ask them every day when you're leaving your house, what is the pushing? What is the motivation for you to leave? Yeah. I guess they just tell themselves, I must make something out of my life. Please, it is time to help them. After them finding themselves in that situation, you push them to the next phase.
In most
for
cases,
them to be
no
happy.
fault of theirs.
Exactly. Look, this. You need to spend time with these guys. They stay together and they are so excited where you are seated and you have pity. You'll be like, they are training on a bad pitch and all of that, but they are very excited. I'm lending my voice and I'm saying, after this, we don't want to come on shows like Sports Tonight to lend our voices again. Let's just make it a template. Let's just set a precedence where it just happens and everybody keys in year in, year out.
Yeah, I'm very sure Austin is going to lend his voice to the call for support as well. That's the best we can do from this end.
I know, Yemi, and you know, whenever I look at this sort of pictures, I get charged, I get motivated. Wherever you are in the world, if you're watching these pictures and you've been doubting the power of sports to transform lives, this is your conviction. Look at them and their condition and their situation, but sports has given them a lifeline. They want to just, you know, live a life of fulfillment, and they're trying to do that through amputee football, and they're representing Nigeria. And it's going to a competition level. I remember when they went to the World Championship about 2-3 years ago, Channels Television, we supported them because with special sports, we lend our voices. You know, we come all out to support. So that's all we can do. We just hope that good many Nigerians will come out to support this team. You can just reach out to us. We'll link you up with any of the coaches that you could talk to, or the managers of the team. It's very, very important that we support these sort of, you know, sportsmen and women whenever we see them, because they could have been out there on the streets causing problems or being a liability to people, but sport is giving them a platform to showcase their talents, and we just want to support them. I think with that, we should go on this quick break now. When we come back, what's going on in the UEFA Champions League? I see Manchester United trying to, you know, fight back against Atalanta, but Bayern Munich, they're cruising away against Benfica. I'll talk about it when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Stay.
We live in a world where breaking news is constant commodity. What you miss in the headlines becomes developing story. Keep up with the news behind the news, developing stories, and the feel-good stories. Keep up with your world right here on The World Today.
Welcome back to Sports Tonight on your award-winning, yes, you heard me, award-winning, sports-loving Channels Television. And we're taking a look at what's going on now. World of sports. Let's take the conversation into proper football now and talk about Gernot Rohr and this team that he invited for the next round of games for the Qatar 2022 World Cup. I want to take you quickly to Kehinde Idris in Lagos. Let's run through the goalkeepers. Invited Francis Uzor, Daniel Akpeyi, and Maduka Okoye. Pretty much regulars that we see in the team. You know, they will be taking on Liberia and Cape Verde. Final round of matches before we get to the crucial stage of the qualifiers. Defenders, Jose Awazim, Kenneth Omeru, Leon Balogun, William Trust Ekong, Olaoluwa Aino, Jamilu Collins, Abdullah Ishewu, Zaidu Sanusi, and of course Kelvin Apopoma. Those are the defenders. Invited the midfielders. We have Frank Oyeka of Brentford, Joseph Aribo of Rangers, Wilfred Ndidi of Leicester City of England, Alex Iwobi plays for Everton in England, and Kelechi Iheanacho plays for Leicester City in the English Premier League. The forwards, we have the captain of the team, Ahmed Musa, Samuel Chukwueze, Victor Osimhen, in from Victor Osimhen, Moses Simon, Paul Onuachu, Chidera Ejuke, pretty much the names we used to see, except for this last guy, Odion Julialo, who went into self-retirement after the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt. Coach Gernot Rohr says, come around, we need your services. Kehinde, loads of conversation after this call-up of Odion Julialo. What angle did you take it?
I think before I even get to Igalo, let me start from this midfield. Almost always, we have three natural midfielders being invited. Almost always. You now had Alex Iwobi, you had Kelechi Iheanacho. These guys comfortably are strikers. So we are telling ourselves in Nigeria that natural midfielders, if you scratch around the world, we can only get 3 on the regular. Etebo, you have Indidi, and then you have Franco Nyeka. Almost always for the past few games now. And then you go to the big talking point, Odion Judy Gallo, and you're leaving a Taiwo Awoniyi out right now. And I'm asking a simple question. While Odion was a super regular with the national team, what was the special with the team? What did we win specially? Where will the younger players who are up and doing, hitting numbers year in, year out? So Wakema is somewhere there hitting double figures year in, year out. You can't tell me it's about the league because Odion is not even playing in a league that is as exciting or attractive at this time. And we're going back to, and somebody told me earlier today that Odion and Genoro have got a super synergy because of what happened at 2019. And I asked what happened. We were told eventually that we were tired of having bronze right about this time. I don't know where the catch is coming from, but I think this is a joke that is getting so serious every now and then, and it needs to stop. Or it needs to be stopped. We need to speak out about this. I love Odion Jude. It's not about attacking Odion. I love him whether he's with the national team or not. He's a fantastic young man. But I'm saying no, this shouldn't be. If you feel what Taiwo Awoniyi did in that game against Sierra, whether in both legs is not good enough, there should be integration at a point. Let them come, and then they will integrate eventually into the team. So if at the end of the Nations Cup next year, Odion is there, we play 2 games, things are not happening, we'll go back and call Odion. And if it's about experience, Mikel Obi is still playing. Obuabona is still playing football. John Ogu is still playing football. We can go and call all of them back so that we'll have a proper, team that is experienced in the Nations Cup.
Wow. I'm going to keep my comments to myself. No, I don't think I should sit on the fence on this one. I think it's a joke taken too far. Personal opinion, a joke taken too far. No disrespect to Odion Igalo. I love him. I respect him. He has served his fatherland. If you're bringing back someone to solve a problem, I wouldn't understand. You're bringing somebody to a department that has no problem, as far as I'm concerned. So it's a joke taken too far. But let's not dwell on that. Let's spend the few minutes we have left to take a look at the UEFA Champions League live results from the UEFA Champions League. There you have it on your screen. Bayern Munich and Benfica is 2-1 as we speak. And the other game, Dynamo Kiev and Barcelona, it's goalless as of now. So let's move on. It's halftime in that game, by the way. So let's quickly see some other results. Atalanta and Manchester United is 1-1. 1-1. United has drawn level. So it's 1-1 in that one. Malmo and Chelsea, that game has ended. Chelsea won that encounter. And Juventus and Zenit St. Petersburg at halftime as we speak. As a matter of fact, 1-0 Juventus lead in that one. Wolfsburg and Salzburg, that game has ended as well. Wolfsburg won that game 2-1. Sevilla and Lille, halftime as we speak. Sevilla leading in that one. Villarreal and Young Boys is goalless as we speak. And so those are the results in the UEFA Champions League, and very interesting matches currently going on. So Kehinde Idris, we're pressed for time, but let me get your thoughts on any in a few seconds before we wrap things up on the show.
I think I love what Malmo did after they were being schooled in the last game. They had to step up their game, and they really held Chelsea. It was a masterclass move, starting with Hudson-Odoi straight down to Hakim Ziyech that led to the goal, which made it show that football cannot be, it is said that no 2 games are the same. And I love that. For Manchester United and Atalanta, we're waiting to see this game. And it is living up to that bill. It is living up to that expectation with the way the first leg, ended. For Bayern Munich, it looks like, same of the same. Nothing is really changing. And, some other games getting our eyes fixed on.
All right. So That's it on the show. We have to wrap things up from here. We do hope you've enjoyed everything. But first, I want to thank Kehinde Idris for his time on the show. Always fun doing this with you.
Always fun, always fun. It's good to be here. And, you know, the topics are always very edgy. Love it.
All right. So that's the show today. We do hope you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. And, of course, you know, we urge you to join us again tomorrow when we have more sports stories for you as well. From Lagos, I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
Yemi, just before I went on that break, I was saying Manchester United needed to fight. And yes, they did fight. It's halftime now, and it's 1-1. And again, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. What can they do without that guy? That's the show for the team. I'm Austin Okonakwan in London. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports right for now.